I, again, tend toward the visual arts. I'm a visual person, so I just love to do the art history part of the course. And I try to address topics which may surprise them or shock them in some way. So for instance, I'll address the pyramids, but I'll only talk about those statistics related to the pyramids that I know will catch them off guard. And just one example of that would be, although the Pyramid of Khufu, the largest of the three on the Giza Plateau, it was built in only 30 years. It was built by Egyptian citizens, not by slaves, and only during the flooding season. And in spite of that, they managed to make it nearly 500 feet tall, and they quarried, moved, placed, and finished 2.3 million blocks of stone in 30 years. And that usually, because I do the board thing, you know, if I told you 230, that would be amazing. If I added another zero, you would say, well, how do you move 5,000 blocks, that, you know, 2,000 of them? And I just keep adding the zeros. And then they're usually caught off guard by the time I get to 2 million. And I love to do that. I call him a master teacher. He is a magician in the classroom. His name is Anthony Palermo. Before I ever started teaching, I sat in on many of his classes. And just like today, back then, he just explodes in energy in the classroom, and the students just love him. And so when I saw him and, you know, the pure joy that he seemed to have when he was interacting with the students, I caught the bug. And I thought, I have to do this. By hook or by crook, I've got to get a master's degree and see if I get myself into the classroom. And so he was a model, an inspiration, and all of that in a bag of chips. So he still is today. He's amazing. And I think briefly, the students are initially terrified because they don't know what to make of this that's in front of them. Because the volume level just goes through the roof, and he still, I don't know how he does it, but he still brings that same energy. And it's definitely infectious, there's no question about it. So he was and still is really my model and my go-to guy. If I'm having trouble in the classroom, I almost always go to him first and say, how would you handle this? My first job out of John Carroll was as an apprentice to a glass sculptor. And the scary thing is the glass is the same color at room temperature as it is at about 1,500 degrees. It was a craft for me, and I never broke that wall into, I think, what people would call real art. But I still do it as a hobby today. So it's been with me all my life, and it was a gift really that my former boss gave me that stayed with me. So I am today still grateful.